Yeah, I remember when I was a junior NCO, I was a junior soldier. I was scared of NCOs actually. Like, my platoon sergeant was terrifying. I actually tried to avoid him. And I remember my first sergeant, I would go the opposite direction when I saw him. And it wasn't just because of that. It had a lot of respect for him, and I valued what they brought to the table. It didn't take me long to understand the importance and the impact of a non-commissioned officer in an organization. And as I've grown in the military, it's easy to identify a unit that has a lacking of an NCO corps. The NCO corps is the backbone of the Army, and it's as such for a reason. And so if you got a good one, your organization usually benefits from it. I remember when I was an AIT platoon sergeant, I had came up in a time where, non-commissioned officers were pretty stern, pretty, solid when it comes to discipline. And this was a time in my career where I had a lot of junior soldiers. AIT, you're looking at kids 18 to 22 years old. And I didn't have that bridge in between the, staff sergeant, and I was a sergeant first class at the time, basically dealing with these young kids. And one thing that I kind of came in really hard charging, not really wanting to hear what people had to say. It's my way or the highway type of mentality. And what I realized quickly, I wasn't really getting the outcome and the results that I thought. And it took a little bit of adjustment when we realized I'm not doing this right. How do I reach this younger generation? And so I had to adjust my leadership skill a little bit, the leadership style. And I understood that yelling and barking and fussing was really not, favorable for this generation of soldiers. And I had to think, how do I want to be as a leader? What do I want my legacy to be? And that's always been that soldiers will listen and follow what I have to say and respect me, and I can actually get some outcome in helping them grow. So I had to change my approach, and I understood that, yelling and fussing was really not the way to go. How do I inspire? How do I relate? How do I reach them? And so that's a mistake I learned, and I quickly adjust that. And I think that mantra has probably helped me for the remainder of my career to just understand that you got to figure out how to reach your subordinates. So I'm an NCO that happens to be a medical lab technician, and I say that because I inspire and I reach out to take care of soldiers no matter what their rank is, no matter what their MOS is. It really doesn't matter what equation you put me in. I'm going to be an NCO, and I'm going to take care of soldiers. I just kind of happen to have a medical background. The one thing I can say that I've learned through the years is, soldiers will emulate and follow a leader no matter what their MOS is. And so, we have to be able to inspire not only just the soldiers, but also our officers. One of the biggest things, even if you look and read doctrine, it states that senior NCOs are supposed to be mentoring those junior officers. And so that's another pocket of someone that you want to inspire. And it really doesn't matter your MOS to be able to do that. For Fort Riley to take this time to recognize the importance of the non-commissioned officer, I think is very special. And one thing that I think hits home with me is the fact that, the non-commissioned officer's dedication to the mission, to duty, is relevant here on this installation and here in Team IAC. If you allow a non-commissioned officer the leverage to have their left and right limit and trust them to get it done, they probably will exceed your expectation. And the one thing I can tell you from, just working with my boss, the thing that I respect the most about him is that he allows me the leverage to be able to give clear intent, and he just trusts me to make it happen, and I think that's the sign of an important relationship. Because as we talk about the year of the NCO, one thing that we talk about as well is the relationship with the officer and the NCO, and it's important for that to be strong, and you know, for the officer corps to trust their subordinate NCOs to get the job done, and just get out of the way and let them do it.